Hello friends, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So today I would like to just discuss a little bit about our current situation. At the same time too, I would like to share something from what I am most familiar with, which is my own experiences too. So let me just start out by mentioning the gospel readings from the mass, the two sets of mass that I was viewing on the internet. So last Sunday, it mentions about these men who approached Jesus, and then they asked Jesus, "Lord, will only a few people be saved?" To which Jesus answered, "Strive to enter through the narrow gate. Many will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough." Okay, and then just last Sunday, there was this parable about this rich man's steward who apparently squandered the riches of his boss. So what happened was he got fired, and then now he was worried where he would get money to meet his needs. And what he did was he did a little cheating. So there was cheating after some robbery, so something like that. So stealing, cheating. Now there are many forms of cheating. Um, from the most basic, which we call robbery, which are very obvious, and sometimes too, there's this form of cheating that we call corruption. Now, I'm not going to talk about politics in here, and because that's not what this channel is all about. But of course, we have to be aware also of what is going on around us, and I know that these things are not unfamiliar to us. Okay, so election is upon us in our country, and we know that some people are sincere and others we are not so sure if they are there for the service of the people or the service of themselves, which is really very critical at this time because everyone is trying to make ends meet. So how are your families? I know that everyone is struggling, especially financially, and right now we're posed with, you know, decisions decision making on, you know, meeting the requirements of being employed, this and that, the vaccines, this and that. So there is that. Now, the first gospel reading has struck me differently this time. I think it's because of the pandemic. I heard this a lot of times in the past, and then this time, while I was listening to it, the words "strong enough" really caught my ears, and it really struck me in a different way. Okay, so many will attempt to enter, but not everyone will be strong enough. So the Lord did not say not everyone would be very the Lord in here did not say anything else but just being strong enough. It's just like the invitation that we are facing at this time, are we strong enough? Now, given the present state of things in that we all need to survive, the question I would like to ask in here is how far how far would we go to meet our needs? To what extent would someone go just so he could get what he want, or just so he could survive? Okay, so in here, this is where I would like to tell you a story about what happened to me. Okay, so shortly after my son was born, I was already a single mom then. And what happened was, I had no one to turn to, and I didn't have anyone to leave my son with. So my son, still being a baby, had to be in the carrier the whole time that I was, you know, trying to find ways to feed him, or to buy everything that he needed, his essentials. So So what happened was I did peddling. So I was doing direct selling at that time. So I would get supplies from my this merchandise from my supplier, and then I would distribute it to customers, and then I wouldn't ask them to pay there and then. So I would come back on the next scheduled payday, and that's when I collect from them, collect their payments, and then I I was under the obligation to pay to my supplier. Well, there was no problem with that, with this the transaction, I mean. But it was not really easy for me, you know. I had to bring my son out almost every day, and there was no transportation from our place. I had to walk 1 kilometer with my son to the jeep, and then from the jeep we would get down in town, and then we had to go around all day. So there, so in as much as it was hard for me, it was even harder for me, you know, to watch my son go through all that, you know. He had to bear with the sacrifice also. So there, so that was the kind of life we had, and we went out, rain or shine, and you know, we were not really making much, just enough to make ends meet. And sometimes too, there were these occasions when there would be a cab entering our place, but I know that we couldn't afford it, so we just had to walk. And so many times, honestly, I had to buy back tears, um because it was hard. It was hard. And then my son, you know, the beauty about children is that even as babies, they're so happy with little things. So whenever we would go out, my son was already very happy seeing all the cars zooming around every day. Would be entertained by that. So there. So what happened after some time, after practically after a year or a year or so, there was this customer of ours whom we trusted already. So it was nearing Christmas then. And then what happened was that she ordered a lot of stuff for her, and she even had got orders for her family. And so, well, anyway, I was very trusting, since she had been our customer for a year already, and she has been paying well also. So I didn't expect what would happen next. So what happened was, well, I gave out the merchandise, and then the next time I went back to collect payment from her, she had already earlier been planning to resign. I mean, to quit her job there. So I was really I was really shocked, with my son there. And what I couldn't understand is why this person, this young lady, you know, could bear to steal not from me but from my son. So there, after that, you know, my spirits were down, and I didn't want to do that anymore. But what did I do? At that time, what I did was I tried to make pastries whenever my son was asleep, and then we supplied this one to school. It wasn't much. It really wasn't much. And then little by little, I paid my supplier because I owed her. It was my obligation. There. So that's what happened, and it was really hard. Okay, so it was really hard. Well, you might get the picture. You might get the picture by now. So just shortly after that, shortly after that, um there was this man. Shortly after that, I the greatest horror of my life happened. So someone entered our house, broke into our house, and then in an attempt to rob, so I got stabbed multiple times. I survived, as you know. If you're new, well, that's what happened to me. I survived. What I am trying to say in here is that, you know, between me and that man, whom I don't even know if that man was actually going through the same hardship and the same poverty, his decision and my decision were totally different. Because I didn't run off from my obligation to my supplier. Sure, my spirits were down, but when you are faced with crisis, that is the time when you think of all these things where you can get where you can get money to food, money to buy food to feed your family, and all these other things. And what we do is, sometimes we do whatever it takes to get what we want. And this is where I am asking, how far would we want to go to meet our needs there. Now, the story of my survival was very miraculous because, um, I had no background whatsoever in martial arts, and I had to defend myself and protect my son also. My son was never traumatized. He did not see the whole thing as a baby, and that's what I've been very thankful for, most thankful for. At the same time, too, my survival was surrounded by so many miracles and blessings. Now, I would like to share with you at this point part of what I wrote in my book, When Your Life Isn't Yours, which is applicable at any point in your life, but which I am sharing with you right now because I think it is very relevant to our current situation. So part of my book in here is where I came across, when I was writing this book, I came across this part of the Bible on Revelations chapter 3 verses 10 to 11. It says, "Because you have kept my command to endure, I will also keep you safe from the time of trouble which is coming upon the world to test all the people of the world. I am coming soon. Keep safe what you have so no one will rob you of your victory prize." You know, when I was writing this book, in 20, I started writing it in 2012, right after what happened to me. This struck me so much. Actually, I felt, I was touched throughout the course of writing the book because there were so many things that I realized. And when I came across this passage, it was when, I was really tearing up because this is where everything came back to me, everything that I had to go through. But I was proud that I managed to do the right thing. I was proud that I did not decide to do what the other person who attacked me decided to do if he was faced with poverty. Sometimes we rob other people, we don't know their circumstances. So there's making me emotional, but well, anyway, I know you understand. So there. And another reason why I want to share this with you is because I experienced it myself. So somehow, I tried to hold on to God. And it was God's mercy and miracles that saved me and my son. No more, no less. So it's there. And also in this passage, it says that there is a time of trouble which is coming upon the world to test all the people of the world. I don't know about you, but I think the time that is being referred to is now. We are all being tested. We're all under the same circumstances. We're all faced with the same things. We all have to decide about the same things. So there. So I would just like to end this to encourage anyone who's watching this to, through all that we're experiencing right now, stay strong. And if you have to endure, endure for God. You don't have to endure for anyone else. Just endure for God, and He knows what to do in your life. So it's that one. In our present situation now, we are beset with a lot of decisions, and there's all these kinds of information flying around in that we might or might not be aware of, and sometimes we don't know what to trust, we don't know whom to trust. But if there's anything or anyone that we have to trust, it is someone who has always been and will always be faithful to us. So for me, it's God, and that's what I want to impart with you. So everything shall come to pass. But stay strong. If we have to endure, then we endure. But we endure for God. Because all of these things happening around the world, the good and the bad, what is exposed and what is hidden, is all under God's scrutiny. And in the end, no one is going to reign but Him. Okay, so there. So, guys, I hope you found this helpful for your situations. I wish you the best in everything that you are going through. I wish you and your families the best protection, love, providence, and everything you need, and hope, especially. So there. So I guess this is where I end. Until next time. Oh, wait. Find your strength, find your peace, and stay with God, whatever you conceive Him to be. He loves you so much. And by the way, if any of you are interested in my book here, the book is available. The link is down there in the description box. And what I can say about this book is that a lot of the insights and lessons that I have learned up to the point that I was writing this, I just poured it out there. So it is actually a timeless book. It's something that you can apply at any moment in your life. So if ever you're interested, the book is down in the description box. So until next time, friends, God bless you all. God loves you so much. Don't ever doubt that. Bye.